Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's your boy Hassan Hancock, the comedian, newly married. Happy to be here. What's good? I got my co-host right here. What's your name, bro?
My name is Randall Williams.
Oh, right. Yeah. We're gonna have to bring up that energy one more time. What's your name, bro?
I don't have high energy mode. This is Randall.
I need you to do it. Act like we watching Game of Thrones. Act like we watching.
I usually watch quietly and take notes mentally.
Shit. Well, with that being said, guys, I had to bring it down a notch. It's your boy Hassan once again. Can't wait to have fun with y'all. We told y'all we was gonna bring back, the direct effect,
history and effect.
History direct, yep.
Live, man. That's a good intro, man.
Yep.
That's
history
good
direct
way to start.
Affecting the history of my direction.
Let me start saying, dearly departed, we're here today to talk about my friend and yours, our favorite console that nobody bought, the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah. Well, thing is, Dreamcast for me.
Yeah, give me your Dreamcast story. I'll go to mine.
I'll give you a 60-second, probably 32-second pointer. Yeah. Dreamcast for me is probably one of the best consoles ever made.
Man, I love
flat
that
out.
I love that.
I don't know. How did you feel?
I have to admit, I have bias because Dreamcast to me, that was the first console I owned myself. Like every other console, the 64, the PlayStation, like the Nintendo, my older brother had that, and it was kind of a family thing. The Dreamcast was the one that got me for Christmas specifically. So, like that is just already kind of a special place in my heart for that particular system. But it was, I don't know, the controller was a little wonky, but
what?
You like the Dreamcast controller?
We had an episode a while back about controllers. I said my favorite controller was Dreamcast.
Oh, I forgot, man. I guess I find it hard to fathom. And that D-pad,
the way you cusp the thing, it was your fingers went.
Yeah, that was comfort. I think it's just because it was so big. It is comfy.
Comfort.
It's comfy.
The D-pad could have been worked on, but nobody was.
No, I remember one time I was practicing Marvel vs. Capcom. My thumb was getting sore from that D-pad. But
it gets sore when you play.
Happened, but.
What's the last game you played? Like, was it Smash Brothers? No. What game did you play with me? Your thumbs go. It wasn't you. It was somebody else. We were playing Overwatch and his thumbs.
Oh, really? In Overwatch?
I don't know why he was having a problem with that. I'm still thinking. Go ahead.
Right, I was going to say, Dreamcast, though, that system, I remember just being excited about all the games coming out. You had the Sonic Adventure series, blow my mind at the time, which, Sonic struggled with this transition to 3D, but at the time, was big into it. The biggest thing that most people take away from the Dreamcast, one reason I really loved it, was the VMUs, the memory cards. If you're going to do a memory card, you might as well make it entertaining in and of itself.
And they did that.
They did. If you had those Chows from Sonic Adventure, they would just show up on the screen. Like, it was almost like another part of the game system in and of itself, like almost a second screen before the really second screen experiences.
Yeah, there's a Chow in there. And that was pretty cool. See, when I got my Dreamcast, the year it came out for Christmas. The Dreamcast came out in 1999.
Yeah.
In America, it was what, September 9th, I believe.
Yeah, 9/9/99, man.
Yeah, but it wasn't 9/9/99 neither. But I wish it was. They would have sold a lot more. But yeah, I got it that Christmas, man, and I ended up getting Sonic Adventure. I'm a big Sonic fan. A lot of people who listen to our show, I think they may say, "Oh, Hassan likes Nintendo. He likes Sony. He doesn't like Microsoft or some shit like that." It's
no
not
accurate statements,
huh? No, but I was a big Sega fan. I had Sega Genesis. I had the OG one with the white volume button on there, and then I had the revamped version where it was all black.
Right, that's one.
I had the 6-button controller, had the 3-button controller.
Sega had 32X controllers, man.
Had a Sega Saturn.
Wow,
I had the light gun.
He was a Sega fan, man.
Yeah, I was. I had the orange light gun. I had Virtual Cop for that.
Right,
and I had the rally game for Sega Saturn, and then I personally jacked up my Sega Saturn by messing with the lens. I was young.
Yeah, that happens, man.
Okay. I thought that, I just came from cartridge. I thought this was how you did it.
Right.
It didn't work the same after that. And then when I saw those commercials for Dreamcast, boy, the 2K series.
Yes, man.
They all in that party, little eye thing. And,
the
little orange light. And you saw Tails down there. And, Sonic probably on the little turntables and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, Sega is definitely taking it to the next level. Like, Oh man, I mean,
what sold me on it was going. I guess I'm showing the age here. Going to Media Play, which may not be even be in your region, but certainly doesn't exist as a store anymore. Going to Media Play Wednesday nights when my dad would be busy. He'd drop us off Media Play. I'd be sitting there playing Crazy Taxi all day.
Crazy Taxi,
and that game. That game and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 are what sold it. And those are the games I got for Christmas that year. Those are what sold me on that system. Like that really. Like, especially the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like just that. And the thing is that it's funny because that game, and it came out on PS2 as well, but like that game is still highly regarded as far as fighting games go.
I mean, it came out on, I believe it came out on Saturn first. It came out on Sega Saturn. I remember, it did because the Japanese, the American Sega Saturn logo was like this big blue ball with a silver S around,
Right.
The Sega Saturn casing for Japan, it was it was like a ball with a black S going through it, almost like a Samus.
Right.
And like a little red. And I was like, oh, their case looked better.
Yeah. Japan always got the cool looking case and stuff, man.
But when I got my Dreamcast, I got everything but a goddamn VMU. So I beat Sonic Christmas Day. I promise you now. I went through all of it. I mean, even the horrendous Big the Cat play and Amy. I was like, I don't want to play these people. I mean, I love playing with Knuckles, and he had all the jazzy type hip hop. Then I used to play with I played Tails a little bit, of course. Play Sonic. His story was cool.
Yeah.
And then I got to the end.
This is maybe even more about the game, but I thought it was so cool that like my favorite and I mentioned this before, but my favorite segment in gaming still is the way they split up the story to where like you're playing that Sonic mission on an Eggman ship and it's rotating and you're just like doing whatever Sonic. Then you go back and play as Knuckles and you're the one rotating the ship and Sonic and Tails are in the background fighting Eggman. Like that was such a cool concept. And,
it was
the way they did that, and I was shocked when I unlocked Super Sonic out of nowhere. Like they had that final. The thing was that game was kind of janky. Like the lip syncing didn't work.
It was terrible.
But it was at the time though. It was like, oh, this is...
I mean, that first stage when you running to Sonic, you going through that, you on that beach and you go on that bridge and like, I was like, oh, and you see the whale behind you.
Yes,
I was like, oh shit, this is great. Look at these graphics. Oh, these graphics is beyond me.
Yeah,
28-bit, eat your heart out. Listen,
right.
Dreamcast definitely had a good spot. I mean, it wasn't just Dreamcast for me. I eventually got a VMU, guys. But I didn't get to use it outside of the
that reminds me, it's kind of funny, like that system, and really it extended into PS2 and Xbox, but like around that time frame is kind of like the last times we had systems that you would be able to safely kind of leave your console on all night because you didn't have a memory card. You just be all right, I'll pick it up tomorrow morning, whatever. Because now you burn that stuff out, it'll fall apart. I mean, the Switch may be able to do it, but like. I guess that kind of takes you back to there was a different time frame, when you had that kind of situation, and the hardware was. I mean, you go to the home screen of the Dreamcast and you have like a clock, you can play music and you play your games, and that's it.
CDs in there,
like I mean that's
play your CDs.
That's part of what did it wrong, man, because you could burn a Dreamcast game.
That pirate and took them out. The game. It wasn't just PlayStation 2, guys. It was the fact that you could be like, oh, a new game came out. Yeah. And rip that off.
I remember like maybe, 10 years ago, I borrowed my friend's Dreamcast and we needed some games to play, so I just downloaded a bunch of Dreamcast games. Like CDRs are like $10. I was playing NFL Blitz and like Sonic Event. Like we burnt, like it was that easy. Now granted it was easier years later, but still, I mean, that's...
Like, yeah.
Gotta put some security on there, Sega.
I mean, Sega to me, and they still hold a big place in my heart. I will be, and I encourage those, go out and pick up Sonic Mania when it comes out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, generally it looks good. Yeah. I mean, so I wouldn't encourage you to get it just out of nostalgia's sake. But yeah, it looks good, and, like I said, support.
Yeah, Sega's definitely been in our corner.
I mean, because, you look at, like, when they actually quit, after the Dreamcast failed, so many of their games were still big name. Like, Jet Set Radio, still a big name. Like, I remember that was one thing that pulled me to the Xbox a little bit, because... so many of the Sega games ended up on Xbox, like Shenmue. Like, people went nuts over Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, and that was a series on Dreamcast, and that was...
I supported the Kickstarter, by the way. I mean, I really did. It's not fluff. I did
still waiting to hear back from them, or how's that holding?
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I mean, it's in production. I mean, that's why they had said they wasn't going to show it at E3 this year. I mean, I'm thinking they're going to show it probably at PlayStation Experience, more or less. But
probably.
Shenmue, man, that was like really the... I mean, for a guy who's never been to Japan, I got a friend who ent to Japan. Yeah, it wasn't solely because of that game, but that was a part. I'm going to Japan, guys. Why? After playing Shenmue, I believe that's where I need to be. I mean, the sheer fact that they have mad respect for your floors.
You know what I'm saying?
take your shoes off and you just walk through the house. I mean, people don't do that here, man. Just absolutely disrespectful here in America. Just the level of disrespect. But now Shenmue, he had a job in there. It's like, you know,
driving forklifts.
It's like a slice of life video game. Personally, I mean, you know,
but still had like an action kind of story element
action to it with a slight drama. It's little love to it.
You know,
yeah, and that was kind of like new for real.
Yeah, especially at that point. Yeah,
I mean, especially done like that. I mean, the little fake, like the little shadow. If you play it now, it probably look archaic, but I still play it because of nostalgia. But I mean, it was dope. Now you know the reason why that game did what it had to do is because the budget was astronomical. They couldn't afford that. It was like $75 million.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people may laugh at that now, but
I mean, at the time, in 90s money, that's
a little bit heavy. You know. I mean, how much did Grand Theft Auto take to make? Like $250?
Yeah.
$250 million?
Yeah.
How much did they make back? Well over $1 billion, maybe 2, 3.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's one thing it was missing was that kind of return.
Yeah, it didn't get that return.
At the time,
it was a game. It was like a niche game.
The good thing about though that time frame was you can get away with that a little more. Like publishers are willing to make more of a risk, and you would probably see better returns on your niche titles like that.
Yeah, and you would. I mean, back then, I mean. That came out in the era of RPG heaven. I mean,
oh man, that to me, like, that's a whole other conversation. But that is like your golden age of like
RPG. I mean, if you thought it, you had it. It was an RPG.
Yeah, basically.
Sure.
Yeah,
40 to 50 hours of gaming.
That's another thing too. Like they weren't quick. You were playing an intro for like 90 minutes.
Yeah, and of course, there wasn't too many voice acting up in there. You was getting your read on, dog. Man, what they say, especially like I always clown on Xenogears Disc 2, man. That was just a read. That was the Xenogears novel.
You were glad if you got some FMV going on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? See a little, you know what I'm saying? See Krilligan sitting there in that chair. He'd be there for 2 hours. He'd be reading like, shit, when are we going?
I thought I was playing a game.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Shenmue. I'm so happy Shenmue 3 is out.
Yeah.
Power Stones, man. I mean, Power Stones was
that was another. There's a lot of like cult classics, like you said. Power Stones, you know, was a big one. People really like. I mean, people liked. I don't know how well they bought it, but they liked it.
I liked it. I mean, it was like a 3D Rumble thing. I mean, you know, here we are. I mean, we're in between that. You know, this time we had Smash Brothers on the 64,
right?
And you know, that was a smash hit. I mean, people liked it. I mean, you know, of course, when Melee came out, it was even doper. That's probably
right.
A lot of people's favorite is Melee.
Yeah.
But like with Power Stones, man, they came out with 2 of them. Power Stones 1, Power Stones 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, that's around that time. If you weren't playing an RPG, you was watching Dragon Ball Z or you was drawing one.
Yeah.
Drawing Vegeta some goddamn way. So when you playing with the little, you know, the martial artist guy and his hair turned gold and he jump up and do the daggone spirit bomb, I'm sure. that was a good ass game.
Yeah,
man. That was a good ass game. The 2K line, sports change as we knew it.
Oh yeah,
right there.
Yeah,
right there. Mind you, Dreamcast came out well before the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, people were so used to playing, you know, the Maddens and whatnot on the PlayStation. Wasn't bad, you know. But then when you get this 2K,
and it was like different between. I remember even watching like a review, and this is years later, between 2K5 and Madden, but it was sort of the difference between your kind of more arcadey version and your more sim version of like your sport game you're playing. And with 2K5, and again, this is off of Dreamcast, but you know, the presentation, so just that whole 2K brand, you know, it just brought more competition to the field.
It did.
You know, saying and as we see, 2K basketball's dominated live.
Yeah,
for like the last 10 years almost.
I I was there when it happened because 2K had decided to come out with a game, you know, their iteration of basketball. I think this is like right on the heels of them losing the license for the NFL. So they had went out swinging with the with NBA,
right? And
Live had came out, you know, for a grand sum. I think that's when games were still costing $49.99. It could have been $59.99. It could have still been $60. But they came out with that game. I forgot which one it was, what year, but it was $20.
Oh,
brand new game.
Oh yeah. I think it was like 2K5 was it? Or around there. Like I remember that. Yeah, the 20. Like that was a huge deal.
I was like, what the fuck? Hey, side note, you see what the hell Live is doing, right?
No, what's
you pre-order the game, you get the game for $40.
Really? That's because I'm trying to buy that game.
So that's a side note, but I mean, even still, 2K was amazing. You had Allen Iverson on the cover. Yeah, that was something that was like dope. You like Allen Iverson. He was on the cover for like 6 games.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. I'm sure there's other people you might want to put. What happened to Kobe? Like, can you put Kobe on? But I mean, they dominated on the sports front. Like you said before, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, like Panzer Dragoon was a huge game, and
that was a very huge game.
The Order came out on Xbox. It was funny that so many games would eventually find their way to Xbox. That's why people were so excited when, unfortunately, Dreamcast fell and Sega went out of the hardware business. They had such a good software library, like I said, with Power Stone, with Panzer Dragoon Order, with Shenmue, Jet Set Radio,
Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I was gonna say Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur.
I mean,
Namco, what's up? How y'all doing?
I mean, Soul Calibur 2, I remember how many hours my friends and I would put in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, and I don't know, I keep getting off Dreamcast, but like when they added the different characters for each console, but that started it on, the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I mean, Dreamcast had a lot of titles I think were well received, but the company was in such a bad position, particularly after the Saturn launch.
Mm-hmm.
And that fiasco, it wasn't good enough.
The Saturn lasted almost as long as the Wii U, didn't it? Like, if that, I think it lasted like 2 to 3.
Yeah, like Saturn was quick, and it was Sega pretty much like when after they left because after Genesis, I think that's when they started doing like Sega CD and all the add-ons that made it kind of confusing.
The Sega CD was kind of dope, but that was so short-lived. The 32X, that was short-lived. I bought that at Sun TV.
Did you?
Yeah, man. First of all, I had 32X. Put that thing in the Genesis, man. Had a fresh ass game. It was Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
Threw that in there, man. It didn't look nothing different. I was like, oh, this 32X is whack. Now, I didn't know. I didn't know you had to buy actual 32X games, but I mean, as part of that whole what was it, blast processing. So I mean,
yeah.
But the Dreamcast in itself, I felt like it was an improvement on all their mistakes they made up until now.
Oh yeah, it was the Dreamcast was the right move to make in a vacuum. Yeah. Like you said, they went back to the board and they fixed a lot of mistakes. And you're like, yeah, if they didn't have the failures hanging over them from the Saturn, because I was looking up because as you mentioned, and it went from 95 to 98 or 90. 98 was when it was discontinued. Yeah, it's like 3 years.
What's the
Saturn? Yeah, and it sold 9.2 million units worldwide. Most of it in Japan.
Didn't nobody want that shit.
Yeah, it didn't.
What's lifetime sales of the Dreamcast?
Let me pull it up here. The wrong way. I'll get that for you. Interesting enough, I was looking at this and kind of going back to what they did right versus the Saturn versus Dreamcast. I mean, it looks like there wasn't even a Sonic the Hedgehog game. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's your mascot. That's your flagship.
Yeah, Sega CD had it. Didn't they have like Sonic R or some shit like that?
Yeah. And then you didn't get one on. I mean, that's doom. That's why it was smart for them to come out the gate with Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
Dreamcast went from it came out in 98 in Japan, 99. I was mentioned kind of in US, and I think it went to 2001. It was ended 2001. So it didn't last really that much longer either.
The Dreamcast?
Yeah, like if I remember correctly, it started out the gate really strong, but part of it was it fell in that weird space between the PS1 and PS2.
Yeah, I mean, but the PS2 was definitely pushing new hardware.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, PS2 you're pushing
DVD player.
That's the biggest. I think one of the biggest contributing factors to its success. I mean, because if nothing else, you'd be like, "Hey, we need a DVD player, right?
Yeah,
let's get this PS2. I can play games on it."
The world is moving forward. We're no longer using tapes. I mean, cartridges are done. And, like the regular CDs, like the coding, like the black disc and all that type of shit, that's done.
Yeah.
There's no space on those. Let's go ahead and use the DVD. They have a ton of space. It's great for gaming. You can double down and actually use it as a DVD player. I mean, if people would have known what they know now, you just would have kept your goddamn Dreamcast, because obviously people who use it as a DVD player, that damn disc they start reading disc.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that was crazy. The fact that it sold so well despite like that issue, because that was a problem.
I mean, it got to
go out in a heartbeat.
What was you going to buy? Was you going to sit around and wait up for the GameCube?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I mean,
you gonna wait for Xbox?
No, well, I mean, I'm sure some people did.
Yeah, nobody wanted the Dreamcast at that point.
Yeah, no. Well, because even then, that was still those two are still above and beyond the Dreamcast. Yeah, the Dreamcast fell in this weird spot where it was better than what was offered, but then it wasn't good enough to keep pace.
Right. No, you're right. The I think it's because of the DVDs and the burning of the games, the DVDs, and that thing that Sony had with them. I mean, they kind of just put Sega in that, and then customer loyalty just sank.
Yeah,
only because they don't stick with consoles very long. And they always got a new add-on or a new thing. I mean, they were juggling so much.
And if you look at like the PS2 launch, there were so many I mean, you customer loyalty, but there's so many new games coming out on PS2 and so many new IPs that launched. And like having things like Final Fantasy is a huge deal. Like
when they showed Final Fantasy X, it was like, okay.
Oh, that game blew my mind. Like I was like, this game is gorgeous. Like, I don't even play Final Fantasy, and this game is gorgeous.
Yeah, Oren, that's my guy.
Yeah, right. Like this dude got
Titus.
But it was
Waka,
like,
what's up, baby? How you doing, Lulu? I see you, girl.
You look at that. You have like Gran Turismo coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just there were so many. It was eclipsed by the much more powerful, the much better PS2, and the library grew. So your brand loyalty kind of weakened because you're like, well, you'll play another Sonic game, but
it was an RPG. But I mean, at that time, Sony was doing their thing. Like,
I think you really hit on something with that. That the PS2 was your RPG console.
It was,
and
everything else.
Yeah,
they came with it. I mean,
so you got RPGs and everything else. You weren't getting it anywhere else.
I mean, there was no Microsoft at the time.
Yeah. So even when Microsoft came on the scene, I mean, like I said, Final Fantasy, your Kingdom Hearts, Star Ocean, all your big and middle ground RPGs are on PlayStation. I mean, where else are you gonna go, dog?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it on the Xbox. I mean, and at the time, Xbox was cool. Yeah, but they came in, after the Dreamcast was done,
right?
And I feel like people had just moved on. You know, almost like, that's why it is the way it is now. The kind of you got to find what your niche is in gaming and stick with it. That's why you see people like Nintendo have this concept with Switch and take it on the go,
right?
Because just to have it have this sheer powerful arms race type deal,
right?
I mean, right now it's just not.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, you can't cover all your bases anymore. Pretty much, the game development's so expensive, and it takes so much for a game to be considered successful. The publishers aren't putting them out. It's just. Like you said, you find your niche. You find, like, for the Nintendo, you find Switch. You find your genre of games, colorful, light. You're gonna get some RPGs in there, but you get your brand and you push it.
And you just push it, and that's where Sega failed. That's where they failed the Dreamcast. They have so many wonderful IPs, and you can see it now in everybody else's console. But I just felt like people didn't give it. I mean. Even I decided to get up and say, you know what, man, look, I like my Dreamcast. Because I was playing a game called Psychic 2012. I love that game. I love the 3D box type powers and stuff. Burn, Glyphis, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, Keith, the music was good. I mean, it was fun. I mean, like the mention Dreamcast, it birthed the idea of online gaming.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a shame that never got pushed more because you're right, because they included that modem in there.
They've been doing that shit. They've been doing that shit since Sega Channel. So,
yeah.
I mean,
and I remember even getting in my box and I was confused. I was like, what? I don't understand like how it's supposed to work, how much it costs. But if they'd have really pushed that'd have been huge because Xbox Live took off.
It took off.
So there was clearly an audience for
online gaming.
Yeah, online gaming from a console. Because I mean, you could do that with your PC. You can hop on Quake or Unreal, but this is for a different audience and this is different kind of games.
And it had a 4-port. So it's like you could play on the couch with your buddies or you could play online. Oh, the concept of playing online, there wasn't many online games, but I think
there was like one or two. Like there weren't that many, but yeah.
But that's the sad part. It's like nobody allowed it.
Yeah,
because people wanted games. And they wanted. I mean, at the rate as fast as games were coming out, they wanted their games and they couldn't spend $50 to get them. So it would make it easy for burning, and just that appeal that like they were losing money hand over fist. So that's why you didn't see so many commercials,
right? I mean, that's like going back, they were playing from behind already,
right?
So when you're doing that, you have little margin for success. So you have to sell a lot, and like you said, you can't spend a ton on advertising. I mean, you look at like some of the game commercials of the day. I mean, one thing that sticks in my mind when we're talking is like, for example, the Crash Bandicoot commercials or like the Smash Brothers, like things that played in your mind and got you excited. You didn't really get that for Dreamcast as much by that point in time, especially here in America.
You didn't. I mean, you really did. I mean, you had games like Air Force Delta. Man, I mean, you just you had let's see what
real quick. I was looking more information about Shenmue. You know, Shenmue was supposed to be an 11-part series. I didn't realize that. They took it down to a trilogy, but that was ridiculous. I don't know what they
Dino Crisis.
Yeah, man. But then kind of going back to that brand loyalty thing. So many of the great RPGs from PlayStation fall. Like for example, like Legend of Dragoon, like those kind of games that even if they didn't get a sequel on PS2, they had a base on PS1.
Yeah, the PlayStation had that brand. It just had that brand. And PlayStation, Don't get me wrong. I mean, PlayStation was doing all those revisions and shit on the original play. You had they had the PlayStation 1, the little white one that came with the TV screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one. I mean, they kind of simplified the PlayStation brand, but I mean, that console was a drag to develop for a lot of people. People got used to it and said, forget it. Right. Nobody wanted to put their game on a cartridge, so 64 was out the door. Right. So when you had that Dreamcast, it was like, okay, this is perfect.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because like you said, like they said that the Saturn was anointed, like the Saturn was anointed to develop for. Dreamcast was much easier to develop for. Like, they made the right moves. Like
it did.
They just didn't.
It was sleek. It was. I mean, it'll look old as hell now.
Yeah,
that is white. Yeah, it's gonna look like it came out 17 years ago. I mean, but they had so many games, and I just wish that they had Guilty Gear X, bro.
Yeah, come on. Guilty Gear is a big it's a big deal in the community, but I don't know. It's not. I feel like it feels like Dreamcast has a lot of big names, but not big sellers.
King of Fighters, bro.
Yeah,
and that was a fighting game. That was I will say the Dreamcast, especially in Japan, that was a fighting game console. Like you use fight sticks on that Dreamcast. Like crazy.
Yeah, like that.
I mean, they did it here.
That was a dream of mine.
Had the two. That was a dream of yours?
Well, I wanted to get like fighting sticks from Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh, but you never did it? Why don't you do it now?
Well, I mean, I guess I could, but I'm terrible, so...
Okay, don't do it. I mean, as long as you already know.
I'd have to, get back into practice, man.
You already know. And PS2, I mean, that thing came out... you had to buy the attachment for 4 players.
Oh, yeah.
You had to buy the remote control.
It's DVD. Crazy that the PS2, but it's funny because the PS2, you're mentioning these kind of things that were kind of annoying, but it dominated. Because like Xbox had 4 ports. I was like, I don't care. Get that multi-tap. I don't care. Get that multi-tap. Like,
you want to play with your friends? Buy a multi-tap.
People were like, all right, I guess I'll do it. I want to play SOCOM. Like, I mean, it's crazy. And it did so, and I guess I can't get over the fact that you pointed out so succinctly that Sega made the right moves. It just didn't pay off.
I mean, I just don't understand why though. Like, if I could do it all over again, man, I would have loved to see Sega still stay in a bit. Yeah. One thing about Sega, they've always I don't know, they've always done something new, something refreshing. Mm-hmm. People like to credit Nintendo for doing that, but it wasn't always Nintendo. I mean, even back when the Game Boy came out, LCD screen, everybody loved it. 26 batteries later, Man,
I hated that.
But Sega had the Game Gear.
Batteries.
The Game Gear had a color screen.
Oh my gosh, Game Gear,
and it was a lit screen.
Yeah, I remember my brother had Aladdin in that.
Nintendo didn't do that shit.
You talk about batteries though. Yeah. Game Gear.
Yeah, Game Gear, they took a lot.
Took a lot of,
about 27 batteries. I mean, but think about it, though. I mean, Nintendo didn't do color lit screens until when? The Advance? After the Advance.
Because Game Boy Color wasn't lit. Yeah.
Game Boy Color wasn't lit. The original Advance wasn't lit.
Yeah, you're right, man.
It probably was a DS.
Yeah. You're right.
Or iteration of the Advance.
Yeah.
But that happened back in the 90s, though.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Sega doing stuff, man. Sega just got it.
I feel bad for Sega now, man. that's so Sega to have that happen. Like, you come out with this great thing, nobody cares, and like Nintendo does it and takes off.
It's beautiful.
Genius, Nintendo. What do you think of that?
I can't believe. And that's the thing. Like, I was like, yo, Sega, they deserve, brand loyalty, but or customer loyalty. But the problem, that's where they mess up, is that the Sega wasn't loyal to the customer.
I was gonna say, they faltered on that end themselves.
So I mean, my Dreamcast experience has always been great. I mean, I love the Dreamcast. I got the games, still can't find my old Dream. I'm like, I mean, but you can buy a Dreamcast now for like $50. So if that, I would just. I mean, some of the old...
Something like Space Channel 5 was a big game. I never played it, but I remember like seeing it on TV and people getting acclaimed for that game.
NFL Blitz 2001.
Yep. Echo the Dolphin. They had that weird like
Prince of Persia
Arabian Nights game.
It's, man... Psychic Force 2012, that's my joint. Puyo. Which is selling bananas or iteration of it on the Switch.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like, I forgot it was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah. So it's like I'm like, okay. Then Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, dude, the Afro man.
Yeah, man.
Pat, making his arm do the windmill and then light up. Ching. You're like, oh.
I mean, they had a lot of. I think the other problem is, besides Sonic, they didn't have enough like mascot, like not even just mascot platformers, but just mascot games. Mm-hmm. Because like you think about PS1 and PS2 era, you know, you have like you have your Crash, your Jack and Daxter. You know, you have Parappa, these kind of games where characters just stick out and you remember them all the time. With Dreamcast, it seemed like at least they never got a chance to develop to that level before they kind of died, besides Sonic at least.
Yeah, Skies of Arcadia. I mean, Sonic.
Oh yeah, Skies of Arcadia, man, that's a good one. That's
What I mean, it's Slave Zero. People are like, how does he know all these games all of a sudden? He's cheating. I don't care. So many games to go over. I mean, I only had so many games. I had about like maybe 12.
Yeah, we had a chance to get the
12 own games for Dreamcast.
Till they shut it down. I feel like the dude at GameStop knew they were closing the shop and sold me one anyway.
Yeah, Swords of Berserk. Swords of Berserk. That was because my friend told me, he was like, "Yo, man, have you ever seen Berserk?" I was like, "Nah, I ain't never seen that."
Yeah,
but I bought Swords of Berserk at a flea market.
Yeah,
so I knew about Berserk. I just didn't know that was the same.
Right,
like Guts.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait a minute. Then they had some. They had the Gundam game, F9 0082 or 83, where you play as a pilot.
Yeah,
and you're in this. That was a short game though. Yeah, but you played in teams of 3. I was like, oh yeah, this is my first outing, like 3D type, for a Gundam game. It's not. I mean, I'm in a mobile suit, but I'm not in a goddamn Gundam. But I mean,
I gotta be in a mobile doll, man.
I
want to be with Wing.
That Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six, that Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
I always call it Tony Hawk. I know it's Tony Hawks, but I used to think that people just sounded retarded. And you got to do Tony Hawks. Like,
Tony Hawks.
Yeah, Ultimate Fighting Championship. I mean, and that's UFC. I mean, and this is back in the Dreamcast. So I mean, 2099 type, 2001. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, RetroCop it made an appearance. Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour. I mean, I'm just looking at some of these games, bro. WWF Royal Rumble, one of the best games.
Yeah.
One of the best games, even though I think WrestleMania 2000 on the 64 is probably one of the best ones.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let me see.
No, SmackDown. That first SmackDown was really good.
SmackDown was cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, I didn't like Warzone. That was on PlayStation.
That wasn't that
good. It was whack.
Street
Street Fighter Alpha 3 made his appearance there, and then it later came back on the PS2.
Right.
And that's for those who like Street Fighter, that's where Daigo showed us the way.
He showed us the way
with Kid. He parried that attire. Chun-Li.
That's man. That's, I still get chills just thinking about that. Like that was.
Oh my god!
Just the place erupting. It's just like. It's nuts.
Yeah, everybody Spider-Man. Everybody would have. Yeah, South Park. Chef's Love Shack. I mean, that's when he was still alive. He was still alive too when that came out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, just so. Quake. What else they got?
Well, you're looking. It's crazy. I'm looking at the standings for the consoles. This is I guess it sums it up. Dreamcast sold 9.13 million consoles. PlayStation 2, I guess it's lifetime, 155 million. They destroyed. I mean, Xbox is 24, GameCube's 22. I mean, they laughed them. That is ridiculous. They laughed them. Like all three combined. Twice. They're still getting dusted. Like, this is about Dreamcast, but shout out to Sony, man. Y'all killed it with the PS2. Like, it's crazy just looking at that. Man.
Okay, go over all the numbers. Go over the numbers of the 64.
Okay, let me get to that generation here real quick.
Man, 150. I mean, but a lot of that had to come with the different revisions too. I mean, I'm sure somebody had to buy 3 or 4 different PlayStations because this shit kept breaking. I mean, let's just not act like.
Oh yeah. That's a huge part of it. I mean, I remember. When PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, people flooded for PS2s because they dropped the price on them finally, and people were still playing the PS2 games. So I mean, it went on for a long time. People buying this thing.
I mean, it was buying them. About a handful. As soon as the PS3 came out, because everybody's like, "Oh my god, we finally entered into the new era of gaming." $600.
Everyone was like, "What?
Let's go buy a PS2."
As an aside, I remember I was so excited, just me being a kid, when when the PS2 and Xbox came out, because they dropped the price on the 64. And for the while, that was so expensive, and to be able to go to a store and get a 64 for like $50, I was like, "Oh man, this is."
I felt bad for 64, like in terms of like, I like this 64, but I mean, you knew, 64 wasn't gonna do shit,
No, yeah.
Like you kind of.
I mean, 64 had those games though. They had
Mario
had,
64.
Yeah, I mean, that's landmark
true,
still today.
3D platform,
right? Mario 64. They had all the rare games: Jet Force Gemini, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
Nintendo jacked up on letting them go.
Yeah, they should.
Hey, they're playing. They're working on what? Pirates
Sea
and
of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
I mean, they were stuck in Connect basement. Like they should have stuck with Nintendo, man.
They should have stuck.
But like Donkey Kong, yeah, that little drum thing. Like they and Smash Brothers, like 64 had those games.
Yeah, man.
So going to those numbers, they said 64. Well, Saturn was 9.26. So actually, it sold more than the Dreamcast.
The Saturn did?
Yeah, at least according to these numbers here. 64 had 32.93 million as of 2005, and then as of 2005, PS2 had 102.49 million. Like Sony, back-to-back champs, man.
But then Nintendo's saving grace was the Wii. How much is the Wii?
Let me pull that up. I know the Wii had to give them a run for the money because Wii was ridiculous when that thing came out.
That thing sold.
It was all those like segments on like the Today Show and all the parents Wii bowling it was crazy because when you go from PS2 era where gaming was still kind of a niche thing and something that you and your friends did, but you didn't really bring it up that much, and to go into like everyone you know has a Wii in their house, like just sitting there, even if they're not using it, they have a Wii. Your grandparents have a Wii.
Yeah, everybody had a Wii. They opened up the market.
They really did.
Right.
They really did. I mean, it caught them at the same time because you had the flood of that. Mobile gaming started taking off, like the casual mobile games.
Shit.
Like,
yeah, that shit. That's where it ended. At the beginning of the end came. But go ahead. What was their sales?
You ain't wrong about that. All right, let's take a look at the Wii. So as of 16, it said the Wii has sold 101.63 million consoles. So still behind the PS2 and actually the PS1, if I remember correctly. The numbers, like, I tell you, man,
damn,
Sony was doing it up. You gotta give it up to him. You gotta give it up. I mean, and that kind of leads back into Dreamcast. Like, you have the Dreamcast, it's selling okay, and then all of a sudden Sony comes out E3 with the PS2. I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna sit there and buy the Dreamcast, or be like, I'll just wait.
I want to be that fly on the wall.
Yeah.
When shit like that hit the fan. I wanted to be in Phil Spencer's press room.
Yeah.
Right before the press got there, and everybody, all the label execs are talking like,
yeah.
Did you see him give him that game and say he traded it? Did you see?
Well, yeah, listen, I like Microsoft, but I would love to see that. Just because you had to kind of sit there with just that look in your face, just like, oh, it's funny, huh? Yeah, are we making jokes now?
Jokes on me. you selling consoles at my expense? Yeah, fuck you, dude. It wasn't Phil Spencer then. I mean, he was probably in the room, but it was like Don Matrick.
Just
I was like, come on, man.
Wiping the sweat off his brow, just like, well, they didn't hit on that. Scratching the back of his head.
We are true next gen game. Okay, yeah.
Because the thing was, and I'm convinced to this day, Sony changed their price.
They did.
I guarantee you they were going to launch on the same price, and they saw Microsoft, and they saw the opportunity, and maybe some of the reaction. Because I don't think until Sony announced their price, the reaction was that bad.
They were going to sell for $500 because one thing that Microsoft saw in Nintendo is that they really don't sell consoles at a loss. But if people want a game at this level, then they got to spend bread.
Right.
Like, we're not going to make a console that's going to cost $600. But at the same time, we got to be smart.
Right.
We want to make money. We're in a business of making money.
Yeah.
And that's just and that level of thinking is the reason why. But they was able to recoup that. Thank God.
Yeah.
And not shake the market too much.
And it's just the same way like Sony was with the PS3. It was sort of that. They'll buy it because we're offering it kind of idea. Because, I mean, you look at it, some of the messaging, and I'm not saying they came out totally cocky, but like I felt like, to me, you have to be able to read the situation and be like, 500 is a lot to ask, but when, really for both consoles, but really when you're already underpowered a bit, like you got to really be careful on what you're asking for.
Right.
And even if you feel that the lead isn't that great, the fact of the matter is people are going to still look at the numbers, PS4 is higher. You need to be able to assess and say, you know what, well, we're going to give you a cheaper console.
Right.
We're a little unpowered. We're a cheaper console. We're giving you better value and spend it that way. Same way with like PS3 when, I don't think it was Kazurai at the time, but when they came out and they're like, well, people will get second jobs to pay for the PS3. Even if that's tongue in cheek, that's what's attached to your console now. At $599.
And it was interesting too. The Dreamcast. I mean, and I don't know how accurate. I mean, those who listen, maybe y'all can fact check it. Yeah. I'm looking at a graph here on Google. Because that's where the gospel is. And Sega Saturn launch price was $399.
Right.
The Dreamcast is $199. Xbox One is $499, and 360 was $299 and $399 respectively in your region. And this is US, by the way, but. $199 for a goddamn console is not bad.
No.
Maybe it was back then.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up what the.
I was a kid, so
yeah.
I was a part-time, 30 hours a week, 25 kind of guy. So $200 was like, shit, I don't know if I could buy that.
Right. Oh, yeah. At the time, you're like...
Oh, God, Mom, please, can you please? I don't want no jeans. We'll go out there and 2 years ago outfits and shit. 2 years old outfits. As long as I got my Dreamcast, no VMU, and that's the thing is like $200. It still wasn't bad. What was the PlayStation launch price? The PS2.
Let me look that up. I'm actually curious myself as to what that because that's a good point.
It'll be $299. Some dumb shit. Here we go. Yep, $299. So not only God, America.
Yeah, and this was
the hell's going on with you guys?
Which was was this was the $299 in PS2?
PS2 was $299 launch price. You know what it was? The damn DVD player.
Yeah,
and you could get you a DVD player for $300.
That's it though, right?
Cornered the market off.
Yeah, and that was I think they were hoping to do with Blu-ray a bit, and it took a while to catch on with PS3. But yeah, a DVD player for $300. And play games
and
like that's what you're getting, and
you know you want to play.
And
this.
You say, okay, I'll spend an extra $100 over the Dreamcast to do more.
Mm.
I mean, it's when you're in your Sega, you're in a no-win situation at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at all of Sega Saturn was $399 when it came out. Man, that's shit.
I mean, to me that's emblematic of Sega's problem, and it's sad that they took the $399, they rectified it, took it to $199, and it didn't pay off.
Nope.
And this is quick math, from this website. I don't know if it's reputable, but it's showing that $199 in today's money would be like $293.14, so almost $300 machine is what the price point will launch, which would still actually be pretty low.
Yeah.
For launching a new console,
it's cheaper than the damn Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
I mean, and granted, Nintendo Switch is more powerful than the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
I mean, after all of these years, you would assume,
right.
But I mean, let's and you would just have to know that by now. But the thing is like I just Sega. I still believe in you guys, brothers. Yeah. And I love me some Sega. Y'all made some amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they did some fantastic. Sonic 2. Is a game people loved to this day. At least it's just
maybe
going back
not
to
Sonic
Genesis.
6, not 2006. Mm-hmm. 06. Somebody must play it.
Hey, well, Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic 06 is the one with silver, right?
Oh yeah, I think that's the one. That's when it started getting really weird, man.
Like shit.
Like that. What was it? That BioWare one? You turned like a werewolf or something. Like it's crazy. Like Sonic.
No, Unleashed was good. I like Unleashed.
You liked Unleashed?
Yeah.
I never played it. I just heard that it wasn't.
I ain't like the werewolf stuff.
Yeah,
but I like the Unleashed though.
Man,
I can't wait to get Sonic this week. Ooh, Sonic Mania.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, like you said, the Dreamcast and the Sega name has so many great memories and so many great titles attached to it. I hope people, especially younger gamers, get a chance to really appreciate. I mean, because people forget. I mean, they were in a war with the Nintendo for the longest time, like back and forth. I mean, were you a Sega Master System kid, or were you, getting the SNES or the NES kind of, which team were you on? And it was legit.
Yeah.
Sega does when Nintendo don't and all that stuff. Like it was. I mean, they were a top tier gaming company for the longest time, and
it was just Sonic. Oops, I'm thinking about some guys. It was just Sega. It was just Nintendo back then. Now it's now that here we go.
Yeah,
yeah, Nintendo. That's why I rock. That's not the reason why I rock with Nintendo. Yeah. Like I know Nintendo didn't get like no kind of blessing from Sega. Like some label execs at Sega still hate Nintendo. But I mean, at the end of the day,
Nintendo's selling Sega games, so I mean, they shouldn't hate them. I should say.
And it's a good home for a lot of their their tempo cats like Mario and Sonic. The Olympic game, dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty cool.
It was always crazy seeing that stuff. Like after all this stuff, it was kind of like when you see like Nas and Jay-Z in a song together.
Yeah.
Like after a while, you're like, they hang out, and like they were rivals, and it was kind of weird to see them working together like that. But it's cool to see the collaboration. Yeah,
and Sega needs to dust off a Togi and bring it up and bring that back.
I really wish Sega would really dig deep into their
catalog.
Their catalog, yeah. Shit. I mean, they have a lot of games that I think. Because at the end of the day, a game in the name is just that. It's just a name. It depends on what developer you hand the game development off to, who determine how good it is. So even a Togi could be a star game if you give it to the right developers. You put it in the right hands.
I mean, some of their games they had. I mean, Sega they made what? Streets of Rage, Altered Beast, Golden Axe, Comic Zone. What the hell? That was an amazing game. Let me see. They made Castle of Illusion. That was the Sega made. Disney game.
Oh yeah.
They had Toe Jam and Earl. Love that game.
Yeah.
Primal Rage. Love that game.
Oh yeah, man. It's been a while
Double
since
Dragon. That was way back, but I played a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Echo the Dolphin. Ghost and Ghouls. Yakuza, which is, as people know now, is on PlayStation consoles.
Right.
Let me see what they have. Of course, Bayonetta. Let me see. Battletoads. Let me see. Sakura Taisen. I'm just going over the little list, guys. I apologize. That might be Shadow the Hedgehog. They made that. I could have lived without that. Valkyria Knights. Valkyria Chronicles. Yeah, Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. What's your takeaway on Dreamcast?
To me, it was a great system. It's a shame. I mean, I could see it's market, it's capitalism. I could see where it failed. It's a shame that it did. But it was, to me, again, partially because I have a bit of a bias, but it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was the simplicity of it, easy to use, hop in. We talked about the controller. Had a lot of good games. So I would have liked to see what it could have done if it had been able to flourish. What about yourself?
Flourish is a good word. Is a respectable word in this situation. They didn't get a flourish. They did not get to flourish. I mean, it's a dead console. I mean, but in the hearts of gamers.
I feel like it's probably one of the most beloved consoles. Like people, and maybe because it was cut so short, but I think people really do hold the Dreamcast in fairly high regard. Like they look at it pretty fondly.
And I know everybody wants me. They must have thought I forgot. But Phantasy Star Online.
Oh yes, I did forget. Yes, that one. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that one. Yes,
I mean just a beautiful game.
Yeah,
I mean if Sega would have been able to flourish.
Yeah.
I promise you, Phantasy Star Online would be, what you see possibly WoW to be, or
at the very least, what Final Fantasy 14 is, in the sense that a major console online game. If they'd have been able to push that and push their online service, it would have been.
Can't even talk. I love that game, and they've had somewhat success with that game on the Vita. I believe it was on. It's just that the problem with Sony is like when they know something ain't selling, they ditch the shit out of it, and they don't even tell you. At least Sega had enough balls to stand up and say, "We quit." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sony they'll keep you labor like. Oh yeah, you want a Vita? You still playing the Vita?
Yeah, we got games coming. Hey, that Vita.
Yeah, stop by your local Hobby Lobby. But I go to GameStop. I go to EB Games, Funko Land. I go to Best Buy.
Yeah,
we don't have any stands there. If you go on down to your local trade market, and go on Craigslist, get you a brand new.
Go to Dollar General. There's a guy selling them out of his trunk.
Yeah, out of his trunk. He's a Sony rep. Let them know they cause here, right?
I mean, I think a lot of it is. I think a lot of the testament to Sega, just as a company, was. I remember when they announced that they were going software. Yeah. People were just excited because it was like, oh, all these games are now going to be available on other systems. And I mean, it's a shame that we weren't able to make it work for their own. But
And Sega didn't. I mean, that's the one thing about Sega too. See, Sony has so many. They have so many lines or streams of income that if they have a failed concept or failed console, they can get money from other ends.
That's
still
true
be able
too. Yeah,
push it through. They'll sell a building if they have to. I mean, these are facts, guys. I mean, this happened.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, it's flipped because now Sony's basically leaning on the video game division at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely flipped.
But certainly at that point in time, for sure, and really up to recently,
they got oil. They got a lot of people don't know that they have oil. They have entertainment, of course.
Yeah, I mean they're part of the Blu-ray consortium, so everything Blu-ray money goes to there essentially.
That's why Nintendo's like cartridge. Yeah, we'll get Blu-ray. Yeah. We won't have movies. You just want the disc. We'll buy it from you. Because people have to understand, for you to have that playback, you got to pay Sony.
Yeah,
Microsoft said we're gonna bite the bullet,
right? Because that's where it's at. I mean, that's where
they try to push their Ultra HD
DVD, man.
They got rid of that shit.
I got like one HD DVD movie at home.
I never seen one.
My dad got an HD DVD player, and it was just.
And all Microsoft did was build another Sega CD and put on it. So anybody buying these? Cancel it.
Right. I mean, you're right with that.
Cancel the Zune also.
Man, it hurts me, man. Don't get me started on Zune. I love my Zune, man.
Cancel everything.
that is, and that's a whole other story. My frustrations with Microsoft in that regard. But like you mentioned, for Sony, for Microsoft, even for Nintendo, well, Nintendo really doesn't have that failure that much. But being able to say, okay, this isn't working, drop it. We'll move on to the next thing. Sega, things on too long, and they just didn't have really have the ability to.
Yeah, and they didn't have. I mean, what else did? I mean, Nintendo's a toy company. Quiet as kept. They making all types of money on their amiibos. Don't sleep on that, y'all. Yeah, they making money on their trading card games and shit. Like that Pokemon trading card game, they was making money on that for years. They still do.
Yeah,
but they're making money on the amiibos. They're making money on the Game Boy, the 3DS.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick to Nintendo. It's funny because you think about it. Pokemon Company, and I can't remember the other name, the logo, the dog.
Game Freak?
Game Freak. They're not even Nintendo owned. No. They just basically only make a Nintendo console game.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. Like, so I wonder if that even increases their margin. They don't have to pay for that, per se, as much as, like, okay, whatever deal they hammered out, and then just, I mean, they reap it in. Like, you're right. Like, everything Pokemon does is going full back to Nintendo.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool when you think about it. I mean, to me at least, that's pretty cool. I mean, Nintendo, I mean, they've found ways to stay afloat. I mean, Japan is not going to let Nintendo go. Sega, unfortunately, they were, to my knowledge, and if I'm wrong, somebody please email us at theramenroom@gmail.com. Again, theramenroom@gmail.com. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I can't remember. I don't know anything else that Sega did other than games.
Yeah.
They may be an entertainment company of sorts, but they definitely wasn't like a technology juggernaut.
Right, yeah. They weren't doing anything else. But yeah, that games were definitely their bread and butter.
I mean, the Dreamcast, in the corner on the bottom right said Windows CE.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, their CD. I was looking up because I was curious about their CD format was versus like what Sony would have been using, and their CD was developed by Yamaha, the GD-ROM. So I mean, it's
they didn't they had to outsource a lot of stuff to just put it together. I mean, they built a console namesake, and they were losing money per sale. I mean, they were selling consoles for $400. I'm not going to buy no damn $400 unit. So to sell it at $200, I mean that's great. But I mean, how much did it cost to build the unit?
Yeah.
I mean, so everybody's burning your games. You're losing overhead on per sale of the console. Nobody's buying the software. Sony, just in game development, have been able to last on software alone.
Right.
Because when the PS2 came out, they sold it at a loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They lost $100 per unit, but they were recouping on the game that they would have.
Yeah, and when you sell 155 million of those things, eventually you'll make that back.
Yeah, you're gonna make that back.
Yeah,
hand over fist.
Right.
That's why that was the end of the free game. Yeah. That's why when you went out and bought a Sega like a Sega console.
Yeah.
You got Sonic 2.
Yeah.
You're right. In the thing.
Yeah, like my brother, I think the version he had came with.
They said this game could not be traded. People thought they could.
Yeah, I think when he got his PS1, it just came with a demo disc, possibly. But because I think he got Final Fantasy for Christmas that year. But
yeah, I mean they had an EGM and PlayStation magazines. You can get that demo disc, but that free game completely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the package changed because you still get your controller, but yeah, you're getting basically bare bones. You're getting your console, a couple cords, not even the good cords hooking up, not even HDMI. You're just getting your component cables. And I'm glad they stopped doing that.
Yeah, I was like, what you mean? I got to go out and buy another goddamn. And Sony was trying to make money. Because the PSP failed because of pirating,
right?
Mainly,
yeah.
And and it's like they just let it go. The UMD format, they's like, I'm not gonna use that shit.
Right.
I mean, I had Jarhead on UMD.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
But it's just...
you know what I mean? But they let it go. Same thing with the Vita. They slowly just phasing it out, which is okay. I mean, people still use it.
I mean, I'm sure the Vita owners are... If only because they've been, strung along for so long. They've been waiting on some news. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's over.
Yeah, it's pretty much over. I mean, they may
turn out
come
the
up with
lights.
something.
It's done.
They may come up with something. They may not. I mean, you see what they did with the Switch. They combine the, But sure, I mean, my takeaway is, man, love Sega to death. Yeah. I will go back out and get me a Dreamcast.
Yeah, man. I remember there were rumors for about a Dreamcast 2 up to like the 360 PS3 generation. I swear, like people were. It was always every year they we're gonna get a Dreamcast 2. Like everyone thought, like people.
I thought it was gonna be called the Phoenix or something like that. Right?
Yeah, I remember that, man. Like
Sega Phoenix, I would have bought it day one, ground zero.
So people love Sega. They love their IPs. They love the work they do.
Yeah, man. Sega fanatic over here, dog. I mean, I love Nintendo, but Sega know what's up.
Yeah.
But I miss you, Sega, man. I'm definitely supporting Sonic Mania when it comes out.
Definitely.
Takeaway. That is my takeaway. This show has been real fun.
It has. Today. Much like the actual Dreamcast, we spent most of this time talking about Sony, but we still love you, Sega.
God. We gotta
overshadowed. No, we get.
We gotta talk about their demise.
Yeah.
I mean, because that was a nail in their coffin.
Yeah, that really was. I mean, that was
Sony was the 50 Cent
yeah,
to their Ja Rule. I mean, that was just pretty much
nice. I like that. Good early 2000s analogy. I like it. 50 Cent to their job. That's good. That is good.
But yeah, next show, guys, we are definitely going to get back to format, and we're going to bring back History and Effect.
Let us know if you have a History Effect idea you want us to cover.
Yeah, how do you let us know? About? Text us at 614. No.
They now have the area code. They will be following you and finding you shortly.
Somebody's going to be like, yo, I think I could put this together. I think I cracked the code. Whoever can figure out the rest of my number, they get a free PSN card, $20.
There you go, man. And you can get them a free VMU.
Yeah. There you go. I got to find one. Hold on. Back to PSN. Now we get back to format. We will not tell you guys what our next History and Effect is. As we go into September, we'll let you guys know in September. Other than that, the show has been real. Everybody's having a great time. My name is Hassan. Randall, where you at?
Right here, man.
All right, man. What's your name?
Randall.
Okay. It's been real, guys. Peace out.
Peace.